Things off. Let's talk about Disneyland, shall we? As they have put forth a bit of an enhanced way of handling things as they return back to a sense of normalcy. Disneyland has announced the following, saying that they recognize that the COVID-19 situation is constantly evolving, which is why our reopening approach is deliberately fluid and phased. And there are many factors that are helping us determine the timing, but when various aspects of our business will reopen in a responsible way. They say, in addition to following existing state and local guidelines, which continue to evolve, we currently are working with our unions to responsibly and, well, thoughtfully implement new health and safety measures for cast members. These enhanced health and safety measures include enhanced protective measures, where they will require mandatory face coverings for both cast members and guests, with addition of hand washing stations and physical barriers where appropriate. Physical distancing, they will reduce theme park capacity to enable physical distancing and add appropriate signs to help guests move responsibly throughout the resort. Temperature checks, all guests will undergo temperature screenings prior to entering the Downtown Disney District or the theme parks. In addition, health screenings and temperature checks will be required daily for cast members. Limited contact as well, saying they are recommending cashless transactions, and they will reduce cast member and guest interactions with helpful technology, including the expansion of mobile order in their Disneyland app, Apple Pay, and more, and enhanced cleaning and sanitation. They will build upon existing standards of cleaning with heightened protocols. Lots to consider there in terms of planning a trip. It's getting more and more healthy as they go. And this past week, the governor of the state of California and the mayor of Orange County, Florida, instituted orders that everyone will be required to wear masks in high-traffic locations. This obviously would include places like a theme park. So now there is no speculation. There is no wondering, should I, shouldn't I? There is no headbutting about this sort of thing anymore in these two regions where Disney theme parks exist domestically. Now it's something that everyone is required to do. So it sounds like that option was now taken away from people as to whether or not they could do it, just assuming that I think most people would. And now it looks like they are being forced to because some people just weren't doing it in those high traffic areas to begin with, unfortunately. Katrina, do these measures bring you any sort of comfort about Disneyland's reopening on July 17th?
I was really relieved because, again, we talked about it last week. I was very nervous with Orange County in Anaheim, like in the Anaheim area. They announced that they were going to take off the restriction of masks, and I was very worried when people come to visit going into the theme park and having Orange County doesn't have to require a mask, so I don't have to wear one at Disneyland, anything like that. Disneyland's private property. So now there's no question about it. You got to wear a mask to go around anywhere in public and also to go in the park. So I am actually really happy about all of this, and I'm absolutely thrilled about Apple Pay actually being in the park. It sounds really stupid and small, but honestly, I was like, oh, Apple Pay. Because there's some times where I want to use my watch and I don't want to like fiddle around with stuff, and they didn't accept it. So now it's going to be that whole new technology all around the parks. So that's one thing I am really excited about. And I don't know. I still think it's too soon to open the parks. I'm not gonna lie. But I am actually really excited that they are now forcing people to wear masks in Orange County and Florida, because I know that was a big one where a lot of people didn't want to wear them. So I'm happy about that too. So yeah, I'm happy all around with the whole new mask thing.
How wonderful to hear.
Yeah.
And in addition to your thoughts there on the idea that, it might be a little too soon in which the theme parks here at Disneyland will be reopening, we did hear this week that several union representatives came together to form a letter to the governor of the state of California in representation of their cast members to acknowledge that they feel like it might be too soon as well, urging the governor to delay the reopening of Disneyland theme parks. Now, we do have the approval for Downtown Disney, Paradise Pier Hotel, the Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, but the theme parks are still up in the air at this point, which I find very interesting because the other side got approved, but not the theme park side. Do you think that there might be a potential where Disney does not get their way with this birthday opening?
See, that's really, I hope that they don't open the parks on their anniversary. It's too soon. It's way too soon. And plus, the rides are kind of old. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of issues if they have to wipe down the rides all the time and then try to do that, especially with what is it ride? What ride always has the problem? Peter Pan. it always, if you take too long to get in, it like busts down the whole ride.
Oh.
So if they have to like shut down the ride and clean stuff, how are they going to do that and try to send the rides through? So I feel like it's too soon. They need to start testing it to see if it's going to like break down and if they're going to have issues with the rides breaking down all day. And like, honestly, I would feel more excited with the phase reopening and starting with the hotels first, see how that goes, and then open the parks. Because they're doing Downtown Disney, but they're only doing what, the 9, 10, 11? Yeah, so like give or take about like, what, 8 days? Mm-hmm. So they barely have 8 days to figure out Downtown Disney versus the park reopen. And like a theme park is way different than Downtown Disney,
like a shopping district.
Yeah, a shopping area. And this, like, I feel like not a lot of people are going to be there. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people going to Downtown Disney, but it's different than doing 2 theme parks. And then hotels, I mean, I feel like that's easier to wipe down and control versus like rides and, people touching merchandise, people touching all these things around the parks. So
yeah, switchbacks in the lines and stuff. Yeah,
there's just like high touch points. So and Disneyland's so small, like way different compared to Walt Disney World. And if no one knows, it was the first park, So everything is kind of smaller. And then so with the switchbacks being tinier, the queues being smaller, I feel like they just need to like test it. And then so I kind of hope that the union kind of gets their way and has like a delayed reopening, but honestly, I don't really think, I don't know. I feel like Disney's going to push it and probably win. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it is odd that that it has not been approved and the other side of the equation has. I definitely think that there's some hesitation there, maybe at the state level, to really consider potentially what might be needed.
Would you ever stay at Paradise Pier if Disneyland was not open?
I don't see a need. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. It is strange. It's like, what if I was Disney? I don't even think I would open the hotel in that case. I'd be like,
Grand Californian.
What's the point?
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind like just chilling and like watching if I was like over by Goofy Sky School and then just walking out and seeing like an empty park. Like I would be totally chill with that.
That'd be a cool view.
Yeah, it'd be like nobody, just chilling, watching, just I don't know, nothing, just taking cool pictures.
Now
I'd be okay with it.
When would it make you the queen of Disneyland right now? Bing, you're the queen of Disneyland. When would be an appropriate time to reopen the theme parks?
Honestly, I would say like the middle of August. I mean, I'd say August 3rd because that's my birthday. But because I'm the queen, so I can open it whenever I want.
We don't care about Disneyland's birthday, just this one. Yeah,
this is
your birthday.
But no, I would honestly say like middle of August. Honestly, I would try to do like a soft open for Disneyland to see how it works for cast members so they can go first and see how it's like and like they can practice with each other for a couple weeks and then maybe start letting annual pass holders in, give or take, for a couple weeks, see how it goes. Because, I mean, I want to say annual pass holders are more forgiving than people that actually pay full ticket prices, but sometimes that doesn't really work out.
I'm not sure about that.
I know,
That's a
I'm
tough
like,
toss-up.
But then I would say then you can reopen it to all guests. So I would say, honestly, like give it another month, because it's, almost the end of June and we're still kind of like, COVID's starting to come back again. We kind of don't really know what's going on. So them pushing it to open in like 2 weeks is like crazy.
Well, the governor of the state of California may have something to say about it. We'll see, especially now implementing that masks for all rule that he has now decided to mandate through emergency powers. Moving on here, Disneyland continues with the news this week, postponing one of their Disneyland After Dark events. Potentially being canceled. We will see as they postpone it. There's a lot of questions here as to what's going to happen with these special events throughout the rest of the year, but they sent out an update saying in light of the recent cancellation of Star Wars Celebration over at the Anaheim Convention Center just across the street from the resort, we are making the decision to postpone Disneyland After Dark Star Wars Night. The event may be moved to a later date, and they say that you should visit disneyland.com/Star Wars Night for more details. This is a very, very interesting push, especially as we have discussed in prior broadcasts, the idea of fall Halloween parties, stuff like that at the Disneyland Resort, and whether or not those are going to go off as planned, especially if they are just starting to get the wheel moving again in terms of theme parks and reduced capacity. But Tyler, they postponed the special ticketed event, whereas Disney World has flat out canceled all of their parties and specialty upcharge type events. Do you think there's still hope on the West Coast?
I mean, I want to say yes, but I I was completely wrong about. We had the discussion, as you said, about Disney World and how we were talking about the 50th, and I know that's not this year, but I just thought there was no way in heck that they would that they would cancel their moneymaker like that, and I was completely wrong. I mean, obviously they have a lot of stage shows and fireworks and all those things, and they probably wouldn't be able to do those, so I get it. The thing that I just kind of come back to is I know right now that like Knott's is planning, or at least they were planning. I heard a rumor that they might not even open this year. Wow. But I know that they were still planning to do Scary Farm, and I know that Universal they're putting up tents and stuff for Halloween Horror Nights over in California here, and so I tend to think that maybe they are still thinking about it. I mean, if they haven't full out canceled it yet, there always is a little glimmer of hope. But just like I said about Disney World, when I get back to it, what do you do at those parties? You watch fireworks, you see shows, and then you get candy, which everybody is touching, and that's not something that people want to do right now. I feel like they could figure out some way to pre-package the candy. Maybe you don't get quite as much candy as you used to, but anyway, that's besides the point. I think there's a little glimmer of hope. I think it's just a very small glimmer at this point.
Perhaps glimmerless, we will see as Disneyland continues to plan and plot their return. So much up in the air, so much to still consider when it comes to the Disneyland Resort and the rest of 2020.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.